Stalkers, welcome back to the Hell Palace. We've got severe weather underway right now and what looks to be an extremely active day. And we're going to start things off real early here, 9:30 in the morning. We've already had severe weather in Cedar Rapids where nearly golf ball size hail moved right through the center of town. And now we're really hunkering down, watching for this storm that's moving right into Davenport. Here's Davenport right here. So I-80, so the pathway from Chicago all the way to Des Moines and Omaha comes right through Davenport. We've got basically coming right down I-80 right now, this severe thunderstorm that is really looking to impact it. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of set the stage here because this storm, again, on the west side right now of Davenport, moving through town. And so we're going to set the stage here. So Andrea, I'm going to ask you, first of all, let's go ahead and take a look at the warning. Let's see what we've got with the data. What is this warning telling us? The National Weather Service right now has this issue. Look at this. 2-inch hail, okay, and over 400,000 people in Davenport, Iowa. So this is a very impactful storm that we have moving in right now with 2-inch hail. That can do a lot of damage, especially if it's very widespread, very volume driven. And if we can get some 50 to even 60 mile per hour winds to drive that, that will also have a big impact on that. So this warning goes until 10:15 a.m. this morning, which is about the amount of time that it's going to take to get over here to Port Byron. Just past Davenport, okay? So we're going to query a couple other things on this storm. So the first thing, let's look at our hail marker here. I think that early sign should tell us what the storm itself is going for. So it gives us an impact, a Titan impact of 3. And again, the Titan impact score on our system doesn't impact hail. It's designed mainly for tornadoes. So it's not going to be as impactful as what it might have been if it were a tornado or a really high wind, high impact event. What is this? What do we got up here? Is this? I'm curious if we can get a sample of the. There we go. So right now, okay. So here's what we've got. So right now, we're seeing the hail size being picked up way up here to the northwest. The reason why is because we've got the radar is right here centered. So the storm is literally moving right over the top of the radar, which means the storm itself is not being analyzed. We can't see a full picture of what that storm looks like to give us really what's happening inside of it. So let's go ahead now. We're going to take a look at some of the hail reports that are coming in here. So we've got, so this first one here, that's ping pong ball size hail. That one is by Andy Irvin. I've never seen a person's name on a report. That's neat. So another ping pong ball size hail report there. And then we keep going back a little further west. I think that was the same, mostly smaller. So again, saying a lot of isolated hail here. And then in Wilton looks like they just took a lot of hail here. And we might have to zoom in to see some of these, but mostly quarters, ping pong ball size hail. I'm curious if we've had any 2-inch reports. I assume we probably have based off of the way that the warning looks here. So again, really impactful storm. And what we can tell by the structure of this particular storm is we've got the core that runs right through here. So almost centered on and just south of I-80 is where the heavy core is. And then you can see the rotation coming around. So we have warm air flowing into the storm right here from Davenport, okay? So nice warm air flowing into the storm, everything pinwheeling around. Our lift happens right here. So the air is rising rapidly, which is holding these hailstones in the air. And that's why right through here, most likely, so I-80 just to the south, right through here is where we're going to see the largest hail falling with this particular storm. Andrea, let's go ahead and take a look at the eyeglass. We'll look at the correlation coefficient right in here to give us an idea exactly what this storm looks like. And there it is. So we talked about it basically. So this little green slot right here is where the inflow comes in. So this is no precipitation falling. So it's really this area right here and then potentially right back into here. But this area right in here is the area where it looks like currently the largest hail is falling with this particular hailstorm, okay? So when we're talking about ping pong, golf ball, hen egg or lime size or 2-inch hail, whatever you want to call it, right in through here, I-80, this is the area that we're watching for the largest hail to be impacting. And again, you can see it's right there where that lift happens right here. The hail falls to the ground right here. This is all our exhale. The storm is breathing its air out. Andrea, I think we just had an update on the warning itself. Let's see what they updated the warning to here. So we'll query that warning. So looks like not any significant changes still till 10:15. Basically shaved the western side of the warning off now. As the storm continues to move to the east, you can see the population is really the only change. So we went from 405,000, I think it was, to 391,000. So we lost 20,000 people now in the clear over here. Storm has now moved east of them. But again, we're going to be focused in on just this small area here. We just got a new hail report that came in. This is going to be sampled from where the largest hail is. We'll see. There it is, golf ball size hail, right where we thought it would be. So thank you, Terry, for sending in that hail report there for us. Definitely very useful information coming in. So we now can confirm that we have at least golf ball size hail falling in Davenport, Iowa, okay? Let's zoom in and see what some of these highways are right in this area that are most likely to be impacted here.
And
well,
Derek, we do have 2-inch reports coming in online.
Okay.
And this does have a destructive and considerable destruction threat tag on the warning.
Okay, awesome. So they have added a tag, a destructive tag to this. And we've also seen, now these reports, they have to come in from the National Weather Service, okay? So these reports come in from the National Weather Service feeds them in. And so we're seeing images and we're getting reports of at least 2-inch hail now occurring with this particular hailstorm. The black lines that you see going through here, this is what we call our destructive tag. So anytime we have these black lines going through the warning, that lets us know that we're expecting a very, very significant, impactful, the type of severe storm that's not just, let's go out on the front porch and look at it. It's a really, really impactful severe storm. So again, now here we go, 2-inch hail report coming in, occurring on Westlake Park, okay? So, I mean, this stuff is just like, people are reporting this as the storm is impacting. To be able to get these, as you can tell, we're still in it, right? Golf ball size hail up here on 280, so the 280 loop, right here where Highway 6 comes through, that's where we're seeing big time impacts coming through right here. And then right down here just south of where 6 comes into 280, this whole junction, that's where we're seeing the 2-inch hail. This storm is literally producing 2-inch hail right up here in the core, and it is wrapping it around. So you're seeing hail move from east to northeast, or from northeast to the west, and then it's dropping to the south as you come back here towards, what is this, Little Park, I always want to say Little Axe because we have Little Axe, Oklahoma, but anyway, so as this comes around, so let's go ahead, let's do the CC again. Let's look at it with the eyeglass. We've had definitely a new update that has come in on radar here. Wow, look at that. Right in here, this is significant hail falling right on 280 right now. So if you were driving on 280, headed up to I-80 or coming south off of I-80 in Davenport on 280 right now, you are seeing significant hail. Wouldn't be surprised to see larger than 2-inch hail falling right now with this particular thunderstorm as it continues to increase in intensity. And we've been watching this storm for about the last hour as it moved off back to the west, headed right towards Davenport. And one of the things that I noticed, it was actually headed towards the north side of Davenport, but it took a right turn, which is a big indicator that these storms are increasing in intensity. And we're seeing that now as these hail reports are now coming in. The pictures are coming in via Twitter that we're looking at here as we're tracking this storm live. And we are seeing 2-inch hail easily falling with this particular storm now. And I expect we'll see a lot more of these individual reports that'll be coming in as this hailstorm continues to move from west to east. And essentially it's going to move right down Highway 6 here. It's going to come across Highway 61, and we're going to see Davenport. So here's downtown Davenport right here. So it's going to move just to the north of downtown Davenport. There you go. You can actually see the hook. It's actually trying to pull the hook into the storm there. Maybe even a sign that it's going to try to occlude here. But basically now coming up on 61, you're probably beginning to see some small hail beginning to fall here on 61. On Highway 6, again, as we make the bend back to the northwest, that's where we see the largest hail falling right now. Is going to be right in this area here. Andrea, let's query this again with the CCs again. Now that we have the new update coming in here, you can see just a massive core. Look how big the heavy rain and small hail falling up here to the north of I-80. The largest hail, wow, look at that right there, right on I-6, coming across right through there. You can even see a little bit swinging around with the hook, some large hail also following in the hook of the storm as well. And sometimes down here in the hook, while the hail might be a little bit more isolated back here to the southwest part of the storm, there's always the chance that it's more wind driven as well. So sometimes we see that west to east wind or that northwest wind can really, really amplify and can really speed things up. And yeah, as we look at wind speeds here, let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit more so we can see a little bit more detail in here. And we are seeing, so these would be more of your winds out of the east-northeast up here, okay? So coming across Highway 6, we're going to see winds either out of the north or the east-northeast. And then as we get back up into here, so just south of I-80 and west of 280, we'll see stronger winds out of the northwest. These winds being picked up right now fairly close to the ground. Our radar is right here. So we're only a few hundred feet off of the ground where we're picking up and analyzing this data right now. So expect winds right through here, generally in the wind speeds of probably 50 to 60 miles per hour. And then they swing around to the northwest, okay, or back from the west to the east, just south of Highway 6. So everything swings back around. That's where we're seeing the large hail. Here's a new hail report that just came in right here on right in Green Acres off of Highway 6 here, State Highway 6 in Iowa. And there, oh, look at that. And again, that's what we're seeing. We saw the drop, okay, in the correlation coefficient. That tells us that there were very large objects. When we saw that blue, there's several of them now coming in. So the National Weather Service popping these in. So there's a 2.5, a 2 right up here. This is going to be, which makes sense, right? We said small hail up here, so we got 0.75. So that's nickel size or penny size hail. Yeah, we got it. Yep. So we are now seeing tennis ball size hail falling basically from Highway 6. Okay, so if you were 280 west and south or right along Highway 6, tennis ball size hail has been occurring. Now the storm is updated here. Now we're looking at, I mean, it's almost, again, right here's the National Weather Service. Here's where the radar is. We're picking that up. And again, so from I-80 down to Highway 6, right in here. Okay, this is the area of concern. Now coming up on Interstate 74. We're seeing that hail now moving up on Interstate 74. And the storm has shown just a little bit of a tip to the east-northeast now. So it's not moving directly east, but it's moving a little bit more to the east. And so we're seeing that continue. So it's going to head towards or just north of Hampton, right down I-80 essentially. So from I-80 to Highway 6, right through here, it might bump up just a little bit and then come right down I-80, where it will just continue to make a pathway. And again, tennis ball size hail now reported, multiple reports of 2-inch hail. What was the report up here in Eldridge? Shouldn't be too. The one we looked at earlier was 0.75. Okay, that was a 1 in, mostly P to dime, which makes sense. Again, up in this part of the storm, we are seeing some small hail. That's what's left over, but it's this area right in here. So let's zoom back in here, and you can see we still have the black bars. So the black bars, for those of you just tuning in, the black bars mean that it's basically saying this is a significantly damaging hailstorm that we're dealing with, okay? So we have the black bars in the warning. So the National Weather Service wants us to let people know this is a bad storm. And then this is the area that we're monitoring, because we know that right here, this is where the air is flowing into this particular storm. So our updraft is right here, and it's dropping its largest hail right here. And as we head to the north, the hail size gets smaller. And we've had tennis ball, 2-inch. This is dime size hail, and this is also a golf ball report back here. So we've had multiple reports. We've even had another 2-inch report just to the south of this particular one. So really from Highway 6, it crossed right across Highway 6, came right through Ridgeview Park, Green Acres, went right across Highway 61. Right now, they are being impacted significantly. And it's now coming up across this junction here of 74 and Interstate 80, now crossing this. That's where the largest hail is impacting, okay? Let's go ahead and look at the correlation coefficient. Again, for those of you just joining us, the correlation coefficient, what that's doing is that's telling us the areas that have the biggest hail inside of them, okay? And wow, look at this. I mean, look at these low. Look how low this has dropped down. This is right where the tennis ball size hail report came in. When we see blue like this, that tells us we are seeing very, very large hail. I wouldn't be surprised to see a few images of baseball size hail come out of this thing. Not going to lie to you. I think this is a significantly impacting storm. Let's look up here on more towards the front flank up here. Right on the I-80, there it is right there. So you can see, and again, it's kind of had that jog to the north, so now it's coming up across I-80. So if you're a trucker or a car or a contractor or whatever, you're headed west on I-80 into Davenport, you are getting pummeled right now with some big hail. It's going to be time for a new windshield, I think, if you're headed westbound on I-80 or eastbound through Davenport right now, because we have a significant hailstorm right now, really impacting right on the intersection here of 61 and 80, and beginning to impact right now, probably just now, seeing large hail coming down on the I-80 and I-74 intersection, this junction right here, towards the east side of Davenport. New hail report coming in right here. Let's take a look at what this one is. So we'll get a query on this one. So that's a ping pong ball size hail report. And that really matches up with what we've been seeing, right? So we watched that low CC area come right across Highway 6 here, excuse me, across the bend, and then it went through Green Acres, and then came right across, and then basically has parked itself right up here on Highway 61 and I-80, and is now moving off to the east-northeast as it continues to move east of, and really right now right on top of Davenport, but is working its way to the east of Davenport here over the next really probably 5 to 10 minutes. And then this storm will be east over here in Argo, and will be completely out of the high population area that we just were in. But obviously, for those of you unfamiliar with this area, we have the Mississippi River that runs through the Davenport area. And so once we get east of that, the population tends to settle back down. But if you were in Ridgeview Park or Green Acres or Davenport, you have definitely taken on a significant, very impactful hailstorm with hail sizes ranging anywhere from a lot of ping pong ball size hail all the way up to golf ball to 2-inch, which is hen egg or lime size hail, even some tennis ball size hail reports. And I wouldn't be shocked if you can't find the right picture on Facebook or your Twitter account where someone's holding one and measuring it, and the spike of the hailstone happens to take it to that 2.75-inch, which would be a baseball size hail report. Still have
pictures of like 2-inch golf ball and stuff in now.
Lots of 2-inch, yeah. So we're seeing lots of pictures of 2-inch and golf ball size hail, and that checks out with what we're seeing here. So again, now you can see the storm. Let's zoom out a little bit. I want to see if I can get a good view of what this storm looks like in general, because it has kind of changed its structure just a little bit as it's been moving through the Davenport area. You can see how it's kind of expanding out here. And so our inflow is still right down in through here. So it's coming up on LeClaire, and it's already moved through Davenport, already done the damage in Davenport. Still a little bit left back here. So this is kind of where our biggest hail is falling. But I do think we might be going under a little bit of a restructuring of this particular thunderstorm. Unfortunately, a little bit too late for the folks in Davenport. They've already been impacted by very, very significant hail. But it does look like not quite as strong as it was just 10 minutes ago as it moved through Davenport. So wouldn't be surprised to see some of the hail sizes come down. Let's look at the correlation coefficient. It looks like we have a few more reports that we'll be able to look at, but we'll do the CCs first, I think right in here. And yeah, you can definitely see a trend down. So this is all behind the storm, so this is not big hail. So it's mainly this little area right in here that we're looking at. And this area right in here right now, where it was showing lots of blues and greens, now that we're seeing more yellows and greens and no blues at all in this area, which tells us the hail size most likely is coming up just a bit. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. We'll give we'll do a recap here of what happened in the Davenport area. There we go. So we had a 3-inch report just come in at the North Park Mall. So like I said, thought we'd get some baseballs, and we got them now. So there it is, 3-inch report right there. This is at the North Park Mall. So again, big time hailstorm came right across, right where we talked about. We've been highlighting these areas as this storm has moved in, and it is a big area. And there's a shout out to the people in Davenport there. Someone saying just a lot of awesome people in Davenport. Excuse me, need some coffee this morning. Anyway, so not usually we're doing storm coverage with coffee in the morning. So early start. And really just the start of what we expect to see for the rest of this afternoon. So let's go ahead and query all these reports here. So just to kind of recap what we have, Andrea, let's just start from the top up. Sorry, I got you, I misled you there. So we've got dime to penny size hail at the National Weather Service office up here. Again, that was where we thought the storm was a little bit further to the north. That was at 9:45 this morning, so about 12 minutes ago. Then as we come back over here to the east, we can see we've got, this is a ping pong ball size hail report. This is coming in on 53rd Street for those of you familiar with that area in Mountain Joy. Okay, so that was at 9:54, so that was just about 3 minutes ago. And again, we thought the hail size was coming down as it moved to the east, and that's kind of from this part of the storm right in here is where we saw that. Now as we come to this, so we've got several in here. So we've got another ping pong ball report coming in at 9:51 for Davenport, one right below that. This is our 3-inch report, and again, significant, and this comes in right underneath the updraft of this particular storm. And then we've got another one directly under it, 2-inch report. So again, we're seeing multiple reports of this large hail coming in, okay? That was at 9:57, 9:45, another 2-inch report. There's a couple more layered in here. There's a tennis ball size report. I don't know what the SC169 pool ball is, but 1.5, so that's your ping pong ball size hail report. And then all these are clustered in because of the population in this location. But we come back here to the west and we still have a few more reports that we get. This is our golf ball report that came in right as it came through. We appreciate Terry for sending that in for us. And then we've got 2-inch hail occurring at Westlake Park now. So that was from earlier as the storm moved through town. Let's go ahead and take, so now again the storm moving into Argo and Pleasant Valley. Again, exiting out of Davenport now, so a little bit of light rain back here in Davenport, some moderate rain still occurring up here at the National Weather Service office in Davenport, but everything moving out of Ridgeview Park. Little Groves, you're in the clear. Davenport, especially down towards downtown. Here's the Mississippi River, Riverdale right in here, and then you've got Rapid City right here, Port Byron right here. So again, this is kind of where the Mississippi River runs, right through town. Storm, again, has trended down just a bit from back here where it was producing 3-inch hail, so larger than baseball size hail. Let's go ahead and CC this. In fact, if you just want to switch the radar to CC, let's just kind of, I want to see if we can just take a look at the whole thing. So instead of eyeglassing it, we're going to switch everything over. So this is what, so before what we were doing is we were showing you the locations where the reflectivity was, and then we were highlighting an area with our correlation coefficient, okay? So now what we did is we just said, let's just switch it over to correlation coefficient 100%, and let's see what it looks like. And notice, I don't see a lot of big areas. So what we can do is we can flip back and forth and see, do we have storm up here? And I don't think that we do, and we don't. So we have a fallout, basically, a little bit of precip falling, but not a lot of significant precip. So our storm should be right in here from Argo in these areas, and that's where we should be seeing all the activity, but again, we're not. So let's flip it back to the correlation coefficient one last time. So potentially a little bit of quarter-size hail falling right now from Port Byron to Rapid City, possibly back to Argo, but again, I think the storm potentially on the way down, at least for the moment. Doesn't mean that this storm won't tick back up again. Conditions are really, really favorable for severe weather today. And Andrea, is it possible to zoom out on the nation and just get a look real quick before we end coverage of today's outlook? Is the outlook something we can overlay on the radar? I feel like it maybe is, but I don't know.
Our outlook?
No, just SBCs would be fine. If not, we'll just kind of take a look at what we have while she tries to look at that. So again, here's our severe thunderstorm that just moved through Davenport. So really impacting this area. Cedar Rapids had golf ball size hail earlier, so we've already had baseball and golf ball size hail. We have a handful of small hailers up in here producing some smaller hail. But again, this is the first impulse that kicked out and has produced that. In fact, we didn't even get a watch from the National Weather Service for this. But we do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings now extending into parts of Illinois as this storm moves to the east. We'll watch this storm. Will it hold together and make it to Chicago this morning? I don't think this will be the show for Chicago, but we're going to have to watch it because it could make it all the way, make the trek with all the warm, unstable air that could be impacting this area. And again, you can see the showers and thunderstorms extending all the way down here towards St. Louis. None of these severe, though. This is the only area that has severe activity currently. So that's what we have going right now. Again, you can even see high wind warnings issued back here in southwest Kansas because we just have a storm system that is coming out into the plains and into the Midwest and the Southeast that has huge impacts for what we're going to see. So later today, expecting more supercell thunderstorms to fire in Iowa and Missouri. with a high tornado potential and also a very large hail and very strong wind potential, potential tornado and hail outbreak this afternoon. This is just the precursor. Those storms will fire and move to the east towards Chicago and should make it into Chicago late tonight. Okay, so for this evening, or this afternoon and this evening, we'll be watching Des Moines, we'll be watching Davenport, Cedar Rapids, we're going to watch St. Louis. We've got to watch Kansas City this afternoon. Kansas City, you were in the firing line. Columbia, Missouri, absolutely. Springfield, Missouri, you bet. Joplin, we got to go down to Tulsa, all the way down to Tulsa. Yeah, you've got a risk for hail today. This will be a really early risk. That risk extends all the way down to the eastern sides of Dallas. So Fort Worth, you're in the clear, but Dallas, Rockwall, you're not. So we got to watch you. Shreveport, Little Rock, Fort Smith. I think I said St. Louis. You're definitely in the firing line. Chicago, potentially very late tonight. And then that's going to extend all the way down past Dallas. We're going to have to watch for potential large hail events occurring in Austin, Texas, believe it or not, today. So yeah, so this is going to be a very widespread active day. And then we're going to reset it. We're going to start things off early tomorrow morning, right around Chicago, first thing tomorrow morning, where we could have another potential for very large hail. So just to recap what we covered today, just this morning, all right, so we've already had to do live coverage this morning because we had significant hail in parts of Iowa. So we've already had golf ball size hail in Cedar Rapids, and we've had baseball size hail in Davenport, Iowa as well. And so lots of activity going on already this morning before 10 o'clock even came around. And again, we're going to watch this all refire again early this afternoon after lunchtime, and we'll reset the stage and do it all over again. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hope everybody stayed safe. Hope everybody got the information that they needed about the storm moving into Davenport. And when the next storms fire up, we'll be back live to do coverage for you again. Take care.